Welcome everyone to the Call of the Abyss 2 NA EU Qualifier Finals. I'm Gamedism and with me is Riku, and we are in for some exciting action with this last BO3. We've just saw a couple of matches and some insane Hunter and Survivor play.
Yeah, this is going to be the ultimate Hunter matchup for this Grand Finals for the NA EU region, and I'm so looking forward because both teams are super stacked.
Yeah, and all this has been brought to you guys by Happy Valley. So when you're done with the game, when you're done being chased around by a blood-hungry killer, you know, bloodthirsty killer, you can just pop by Happy Valley. Just when you need to chill out.
Definitely. And with that, I'm so looking forward to our matchup. Again, what ended up is gonna be the finals is Team for Fame versus Boosted Clan.
We saw some pretty amazing play from Team for Fame as we moved into that last game. Once again, guys, just a reminder, 5C were actually forfeited from the match, I believe. So that meant that they weren't, that the match we saw before was just an exhibition. So Team for F definitely made it through. And there's also not going to be a third and fourth placing match because HM will be taking that third seed immediately.
Exactly. We're heading straight into the action soon for the Grand Finals to find out who's going to take that one single slot for the NAE region, heading over to the Global Finals. And they're going to be up against 15 more teams. Yeah. I'm so excited because there are a ton of qualifiers still ongoing for the other regions. So again, 6 regions are involved. So it's going to be pretty tough to see how each region will, you know, stack and come against each other later on. Yeah,
I think we actually saw the C qualifiers going on yesterday, and I think we got the Thai casters for that too. And so, you know, we are pushing the competition is moving forward. Like this is a freight train, and there's no stopping. We're on to they're going all in, and we have that 1 million yuan prize pool as they come to Shanghai to start playing things out. So it's honestly a pretty good deal.
Definitely pretty good deal, and it's also not only about the prize money, but it's also about not only, I mean, we got a team named Team for Fame. So they're also doing it for the fame, and they're also doing it for the glory and to test their skills and where to improve, how they're going to do about how do they fare against the other players from different regions. So it's gonna be super duper fun.
Yeah, it's I love it. I love it. They do like the game. You do play. That is how you start, right? You're talking about how many games players like Ryu play.
Yeah. We were stock. It's just unfortunate I wasn't able to stock the stock. I really used the word like research. Checked out the different profiles from Team 4F, but I did manage to take a good look at the record of some players from Boosted Clan. Or rather, wait a moment. Did I get that right? Boosted Clan, or was it? We're talking about a different team. Yeah, Hakuna Matata, which was already unfortunately eliminated by BC. Yeah. They're down to 3rd place, but it's just interesting for me because Ryu has 6,711 games as of like last night when I checked, and Doc has 5,024 games. So which I feel like maybe I wish I stocked to like how many games Boosted Clan and T4F had managed to garner, like, collectively.
So that's how it starts, right? That's how you get into like playing competitively. After like probably like what, the 4,000 game like threshold. That's when you start saying like, okay, maybe this is a little bit more than just a hobby. You know, you really take it seriously, and I feel like each game has its own like specific kind of craft. And I think what's really exciting is that with the recent changes and some of the patch notes that we've seen, the meta has actually evolved a little bit, and it's not as rigid. A lot of you know, it still is quite reasonably within the same set of characters, but occasionally you can branch out, especially with players who specialize in specific ones.
Exactly, they have specific roles. There's, just as you mentioned, there's the fast decoders, there's the kiters, and there's certain characters, survivors that are good at saving and rescuing people. So there's a standard already as a certain basis, whether or not to determine which certain survivors are meta or strong in certain maps, or especially against certain hunters. But because of the tournament setting, and when they decide whether to ban a certain survivor or hunter, at least like for round 1, no ban. So that's a huge pool to choose with.
Absolutely.
Right?
And on top of that, we're also working with legendary mode, so you have no repetition of characters. So I mean, the first game not so bad because there's nothing being banned out. You have free choice with everything that comes in. So as you mentioned, no ban first round. You get to pick what you want. So you can play whatever it is, whether you're more comfortable with certain characters. But oftentimes we've been seeing mechanic being banned out very heavily, much less so than before. Like pre this competition, I think mechanic was the sort of like, you have to ban this. You're either banning this or you're picking this, right? But this time around, there's a little bit more freedom. You can go for different bans. You can go get rid of maybe like the seer. Sometimes we've seen that being banned out. Maybe sometimes the coordinator has been banned out.
Exactly. There's so much because of the adjustments in terms of adjustments to the survivors, like nerfing or certain buffs to survivors. At least we can see more diverse choices for the survivors to pick. Like, for example, Mind's Eye moved up into the priority list. Either you be a Mind's Eye or you be a mechanic at this point. Unlike before, you mentioned it's like all the time mechanic.
It's funny that 10% means such a huge difference, right? Because prior to this, there was a little bit of adjustment with the global buff. This 8% bonus to decoding for everybody on your team.
Crazy.
A bit much, right? So the 3% was a nice little adjustment, and then this 10%, I mean, quote unquote nerf. It's honestly not even that much. You still have like a plus 25% bonus, but it's been such a huge hit, even despite that instant locking the mechanic there.
Yeah, a huge priority. Again, we're heading on to round number 1. Again, this is the finals. Boosted Clan versus Team for Fame. Who's going to make it to that one single slot for the NA and EU, reaching to that global finals in Shanghai, China. So look at that. DYC. First ranked forward player is gonna just stick to his guns and play what he's comfy with, and double fast decoders, my friend.
Yeah, you have 2 fast decoders. You have the straightforward save character, the rescue character that's in the form of this forward, and then you also have the seer. Great additional defense, can perform as a kiting champion. So you have a pretty well-rounded composition here. Blue Race Car going back with that Ripper. We've seen how absolutely massive the Ripper can be in this kind of circumstances, especially going into Sacred Heart Hospital, right?
Yes.
Small map, relatively easy to work around with. If you get that bonus move speed, you get the boost coming in with the fog, you get the nice little strike off, it's an easy game. Yeah,
you mentioned how Sacred Hospital is a relatively okay map. It's not as big as Lakeside or River Park, but I find it maybe a little bit too risky for forwards because there's a lot of obstacles. Like if you don't maneuver it well, you probably bump into an obstacle and leave yourself open for the Ripper.
That's that kind of kite control. That's the kind of tight movement that really makes or breaks forward as a character and really separates the lower level from the very high tier, the top tier players. And really, if this is the first ranked forward can't play forward this map, then there's something, then nobody can. Yeah, this is the real deal, people. It's not an exhibition. This is the grand finals. We see that Blue Race Car actually managed to get a hit onto AliX. On the mechanic here. It's going to be a little bit tricky. This is maybe the best character for the Ripper to find first, like right off the bat, right? Get the mechanic early on, and mechanic is just like a character that's very easily caught out, doesn't have very much kiting potential, and really just wants to be able to work off of trying to get the decode very quickly, right? Oh, DYC actually missed. Bumps into the terrain there, to the wall, and you can tell that they're very wary. They're very still expecting a hit no matter what. Even though the hug on the wall was perfect, it actually Blue Race Car missed the hit. They still managed to consume 1 owl, but it wasn't used at all. They were just taking precautions. Yeah, I mean, they rather DYC come in and take a hit than your mechanic going down, but it doesn't look like they're prepared for this. They are going to go get taken down anyway. They managed to come in with the rescue. DYC's going to get knocked down now. So the forward, this rescue character is now in a pretty difficult situation. They might have to go for the rescue here. It's difficult. Mechanic is buff to the teammates, and overall decode speed is going to get severely hampered. They are down to 3 ciphers, which means that the last 2 characters, the Mind's Eye, the Seer, have been working relentlessly on these ciphers, trying to find this early rush and put themselves in a better position. But now they need V41 to move forward. They need John to move forward as well, because otherwise, I don't think they have the means to go and save them. Oh no, you're absolutely right. We were talking about if the mechanic were on
the rocket ship, at least you could control the robot, and the forward would still be there to save. He's more effective saving anyways.
Oh no! Oh no!
Will he go for the... Yeah, he will aim for DYC, but he charges in.
Oh, man.
Gets the fog.
Barely dodges out on that. Looking to go around the pallet. We'll find a little bit more distance here. Oh, that was such a close strike.
Oh no! Terror shock.
But onto the robot. Still not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, that's true. It's just the robot. It's totally fine. But 2 ciphers left. So that's the good thing about having 2 speedy decoders. At least to get your mechanic to be too distracted, keeping the hunter busy. At least you have the mind's eye, keeping things in check. But that's the basement, though. It's gonna be hard rescuing a DYC over there.
Yeah, it's again, I have to say it's such an absolute risk to have your mechanic being the ones to be caught out first. Mechanic generally just wants to be able to go and start decoding, right?
Yes.
So having a low kiting potential character, low kiting potential survivor being the one to get caught out first really hurts them a lot here. And you can see how desperately the characters like Seer, like the Mind's Eye have to start moving towards, especially the forward. DYC put himself in harm's way so many times to save the mechanic, literally running towards the Ripper just to take the shot away.
I think it's pretty worth if they manage to get 3 survivors out. It's fine to sacrifice DYC. I suppose it will be too risky anyways. But great job knowing the terrain. Rayscar manages to get the hit anyways, but the charge attack will finish off John. There's still time. There's still a chance. 1 cipher left. It's the first time John's going to be on the chair anyways. But this is a great job from Rayscar. He places it right near in front of the first exit gate. So this puts AliX and V41 to just proceed to the other end anyways. And either AliX would try to distract. We're not really sure what the game plan is going to be, but for sure, getting that Cypher one down, they probably have the Persona trait to get the full heal, so they will time that correctly for sure.
Oh man, this is so difficult right now. There's 1 Cypher that's near decoding by Jean. Oh, 2 quick successive hits, but they're not going to get the knockdown just yet. Looking to try to make the escape. The Mind's Eye not going to be able to find this. Using the pallet, gets the stun onto the Ripper, but even then, only barely able to escape with his own life.
Yeah, there's a rocket chair nearby, and he's placing it away from the exit gate just in case they time it correctly. And go bye-bye.
Go bye-bye.
Yeah. Manor you go, and AliX and V41 is the only one left. They still have 1 Cypher remaining, so they were just banking on the fact that that rescue was gonna be successful, and it wasn't. And now they're in a tiny corner. AliX is gonna play around the pallets, but in the wrong side of the pallet, it's fine because you can drop down anyways.
Trying to find some distance away, vaulting over. Looking to move towards the team. Trying to join forces right now. I'm not sure whether that's the best plan. Both of you guys are 1 hit.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to walk towards your 1-hit teammate.
And then the other... Oh no, AliX goes down. Is this going to be a clean slate start for Boo Racer? Again, this matchup is a highlight of so many stacked high-tier survivors. But not only that, one of the biggest highlights is the Hunter matchup.
Absolutely. I have to agree with you. It almost feels like this matchup is more Hunter inclined than it is Survivor inclined.
Agreed.
If the Survivors get out, that's great, but it's more down to the Hunters to try to just max out the points.
So the game plan is, I don't think they were able to decode properly. So V41 doesn't have a charge on the Owl, so cannot tank at all any of the blows. He is 1 shot. He is sneaking in. Rayscar is guessing, okay, they're probably here at the hospital because it's one of the strongest, but teleport, surprise.
Jumps right back in. Oh, okay. Misses it a little bit.
Okay. That was a little bit scary, but they at least managed to get the rescue in. But still, no, the Cypher has to be deciphered, of course. But they're playing around this area because there's still pallets in.
Nice strike coming in. Mechanic being placed in the rocket chair one more time should see him go down. So just waiting by the dungeon for V41 might just be the safest bet.
Yeah, the struggle will not be possible. No escape whatsoever because there's a rocket share nearby. And yeah, there's still hope. But at this point though, V41 may just opt for the dungeon. Because I don't think there's enough time. It may be too risky. You don't have any charges on your owl.
Goodness. Yeah, no charges on Yao for a while now, and now moving forward right into the Ripper. Oh no, he has no idea.
Oh no! There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect game for Boo-Ray-Scar. Wow, a strong start. 5 points right off the bat.
Boo-Ray-Scar being able to pick up the solid clean sweep. As you mentioned, 5 points from the get-go off this first round means that the first round is almost definitely going to be, it's at least a draw, but very likely to go towards a BC at this rate as long as they're able to just get one guy out. That's all you need.
One guy out. Then just deny the clean slate of the 5 points. But there you go. GOAII did a great 94 seconds though on AliX here. Probably just utilize the the hospital more because there's so many pallets to work with. There's a second floor, first floor. There are drops to work with as well. So great job, but then again, Boo-Ray-Scar, I'm afraid of that guy. Boo-Ray-Scar is just amazing, an amazing hunter.
Yeah, I feel like he's using the invisibility so effectively that at this point they might as well just ban out the Ripper the next games next rounds coming forward and just hope that whatever, at least they can see what Boo-Ray-Scar is doing, right?
Exactly. But we mentioned earlier that the exciting part of this matchup, this grand finals, is not only knowing who's going to take the only one and only slot to the global finals for NA and EU region, but also the matchup between Yassault and Boo-Ray-Scar. We saw Boo-Ray-Scar, super duper effective hunter, but for team T for F, T for F, not
Team for Fame.
Yeah, Team for Fame. Team, but also Team for the Win. They're really a scary squad because not only do they have a very high ranked hunter player. I mean, Boo-Ray-Scar is also a high ranked player, but their survivors are pretty stacked as well.
Yeah.
But then again, their survivors, even though they're high up there, they still had a hard time against Boo-Ray-Scar. Imagine second ranking Mind's Eye, and then a lot of
first rank forward.
Yeah, first rank forward. I believe also first ranked seer. So imagine they got
stacked
toppled.
survivors.
Yeah, stacked survivors. They got toppled down by this high ranked Boo-Ray-Scar hunter Ripper player.
Make them sit down. Sit down.
Sit down.
Get on that rocket ship.
Get back to that manner. So I'm really excited how certain adjustments will do in terms of the banning later on, but we're still at round number 1. We're going to proceed to the second half of the map soon. It's still going to be the same, still going to be Sacred Hospital. So for Yassault, I'm so curious what he's going to use because he could still pretty much use the Ripper if he wants.
Yeah. I actually quite liked the Soul Weaver and how accurate he was with his shots. Yes. So that could be something interesting to see as well. It's a different take on the same map and the same idea. I think what might be different is that the forward would probably be replaced by something like the coordinator, just something that maybe works a little bit more secure-like. Otherwise, I fully expect them to be able to come in and just play pretty decently.
Yeah, I mean, number 5 points.
Yeah.
Is to be. They have to have a perfect score to make this
a draw.
Draw it out. So I'm really looking forward to what kind of adjustments they're gonna do in terms of picks. And for a boosted clan, they're going to be on the survivor side this time around. We have Emerald, I believe, is a magician main. X-Tempted is third ranked magician, and Hokage is second ranked coordinator and is also the #1 survivor. So second ranked hunter on the other side of the spectrum, Team for Fame, and #1 survivor.
All they need, just 1 point on the survivor side.
Yeah.
Just 1 point.
1 point. That's all it takes. That's all what they're aiming for in this round number 1 second half. Let's see what Emrakul will be able to pick. It's going to be the magician, comfort pick for sure. Hoka might go coordinator.
Solid option as per usual. Then we might be able to see something like the Mind's Eye coming in, and then Perfumer. I think that's a good chance that something like that comes out. In that case, I would like to be able to see the Ripper coming out. I think that they would do quite well against the potential kiting, the kiting from Mind's Eye or maybe Mechanic.
That's actually true.
Yeah,
there you
Mind's
go.
Eye coming in. And then the final one, up in the air a little bit, but I think we've seen Perfumer coming as that clutch final choice a lot of the time.
Yeah, he's the second annoying kiter for sure, because X-Tempted is actually third Magician, but if you think about it, Perfumer and Magician have sort of similar playstyles, so you play around with your items, either your wand or your perfume to juke and probably save yourself from a hit. So we'll see what Yassault has to play now. It's gonna be Silver again.
All right, going in with the Soul Weaver. So that is something that we've seen Yassault default to, right? Like when I feel like this is kind of like a mind game, right? So when you go in, you're like, okay, if I go in with my main character, my main hunter right away, they're gonna ban it out next game.
Yes.
But if I make them afraid of my Soul Weaver in the first game, then they're gonna let me pull out my main hunter. Like pull out the Ripper or whatever it is, they can pull out your main hunter. So I feel like that's kind of what they're aiming to do right now.
For sure, for sure. And imagine if it's not, you're banning something that's also a potential threat. You're leaving something open that's a more humongous threat. Look at the mastery, the map mastery, utilizing, and Dead is just trying to hide. Mind's Eye, the first one in even.
Yeah, even with vision of the hunter still getting taking that first strike, Yassault is our fastest round winner in a 4-minute round against the survivors. So I fully expect a very impressive round once again.
Oh,
beautiful.
All right, okay. Mind's Eye are not the best vaulters in the world. They're very, very slow, but they're great at kiting because they can see through walls. But that was just unfortunate because Yassault has the terrain to put the webs in, get that movement speed bonus, and Yassault just has to play mind games with his Mind's Eye.
Yeah. I see what you did there.
Thank you.
To be fair, Mind's Eye being blind is kiting does manage to get over vaulting pretty decently. But even then, yeah, as you mentioned, it's super slow. So that's going to be difficult for them to work around with right now, trying to move forward. It does look like the coordinator is just trying to bait out. Who's going to get caught up by who? Finds the 6 seconds. Oh, wow!
What? Okay. Oh, wow.
Denies the stun there. Finds that collapse. Wow, oh my goodness.
Yassault is reading this so well.
Wow, next player coming in, Tempted. Are you kidding me?
Are you... This could be potentially... Okay. So you have 2 hands full. Terra Shock will not be available. It actually hits the chair.
Wow, look at that. He just instantly switches them out. So he sees that he can't get both targets. So he picks up the first. And then the second that he can, he just goes in, puts the guy down, and then just goes for the next kill.
Smart plays by Yassault.
Does see the last effort, but they're just going to be dead, going down pretty soon there.
Oh. Yep.
Basement right nearby.
Yeah. Basement would be... Either you put it outside so you have more leeway, or interesting, decides to go for the drop instead. So you put it outside for more leeway, get more baits on the Terra Shock, and have more rounds to work with instead of the basement. You're stuck in the basement anyways. But then again, yeah, pretty much gone for Mind's Eye. And one of the best decoders in your squad. First out, 3 ciphers left.
Yeah, definitely a pretty tough turn of events. Such a quick kill for Yassault is going to hurt the survivor team quite a bit. I can kind of see why he went for the safer option instead of going for the gun, instead of going for the basement. Just a little bit far away, there was a chance that maybe the survivor could have jumped off. And since the Mind's Eye was going to be dead anyway, doesn't really make a difference.
That is absolutely correct. With this though, everybody's on the same side. Great aim from Yassault. He says, do I
baiting out the Terra Shock?
Do I juke this with an illusion? There you go. There's the illusion.
Wow, body blocking in the corner. That's a very nice use of the illusion there.
Good job, but still gets the hit earlier from the web. So it's just one shot. It's going to be a little bit tricky. But he's buying so much time, though. This is the great thing about this area. There's so many pallets to work with. But never mind, so much for that. Actually manages to get the hit, even though the illusion was in the way. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, but the rest of the team is making light work on these ciphers, finding some regeneration as well, so both of them still have a little bit more health. So they can go for the save, and they can just afford to tank up the shot anyway.
That is true.
Accelerated decoding is going to make things easier as well.
But because of Hokage losing the flare earlier, it's up to X-Tempest!
Oh!
No! Every time they do these saves, it's always a minds game. They always want to bait out the normal attack, and they just cancel the rescue so that you have time. But then again, the Assault is reading the Survivor so well. This could potentially be a draw.
Wow. Coming in now, looking to get this catch onto the Perfumer. They do manage to find a little bit of a stun by getting the reset very quickly. Try and juke around the Perfumer here.
Nice, nicely done. There, Perfumer. Hokage. Magician is actually gone. Perfumer is still going to be A-okay, but only one. Both of them are all one-shots. 3 ciphers left.
Coordinator gets back on her feet.
Coordinator gone. Perfumer's the only one left. X-tempted. This is going to be tough. This might be a draw.
Yeah, that's crazy. The fact that both hunters are just so capable of finding a perfect round.
Exactly.
And so easily, too. These guys make it look like it's easy.
He knows where he is. He knows where he is. Oh, wasn't able to hit, I believe. But look at the movement speed.
Oh
my.
Despite the perfume, it doesn't even matter.
Too fast, too fast. Coordinator probably has exit path, so managed to self-heal. Back to normal, back to normal. Back to half, at least. So dungeon revealed again. Perfumer either has also exit path, I'm not sure. But Yassault he took that risk and left the Perfumer anyways. But we'll see what the plan is here.
Yeah, still opting to go chase after the Coordinator instead of camping the Perfumer, which makes sense because you still have 3 ciphers. So honestly, there isn't that much risk for the Soul Weaver to deal with.
Okay, it's gonna revive, but it's gonna get detected either way. Okay, does he have teleport? Okay. Oh, this is so fast.
He's just so fast, man. Just chasing after. Now Tempted gonna be the one chased after.
Oh man, oh man. Okay, Hokage would be the one next, and Hokage already used self-heal. Missing the shot, it's fine. We'll see if Hokage can make it.
Double speed boost right around the corner. Are you kidding me?
Same spot too. That's gonna be 5 points. It's gonna be a draw for round number 1.
Round 1 ends in a draw, and we have 2 more rounds to go with. That first round's pretty intense. Both hunters just getting a perfect wipe on the survivors.
Exactly, and I feel like this coming round would be the deciding factor whether or not they're able to get either a perfect score or not, because at least you got room to ban. But anyway, going back to the match earlier, 144% on M. Rakul TPE, but you still did a very solid job chasing down, seeing who to prioritize first, and they ended up with the Mind's Eye getting killed immediately.
Yeah, Dead has a Dead is dead.
Yes.
So just ends up taking not really providing the role that they were hoping to be able to fulfill. So that's gonna be quite disadvantageous for them.
Yeah.
Early on, I will say that perhaps as we look at Sacred Heart Hospital, that maybe that the map is a little bit too skewed for hunters.
Yes.
So even though they can choose a map, they have to consider they have to weigh it off, right? Sure, you can get a perfect round for your hunters, but if that means that your survivors can't get out at all, is it really worth it?
Exactly, and if you look at the stats earlier, both of them have even amounts of seconds of keeping the hunters busy.
Yeah.
It just means that they're just all of them are moving around and they're just trying to reposition. Therefore, the ciphering, the decoding is really slow.
That being said, guys, we'll be going into a quick little break for the players to get ready, and we'll be checking out a couple of highlight clips from the game. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. we're back, everybody, once again for the second round of our final best-of-3 qualifiers for the NAEU. Call of the Abyss 2. We just saw a very exciting game number 1 being played out, and that was, oh my goodness. Yeah, here we go. Yosol gets the MVP for that last match.
Yeah, 18 strikes in the survivors and 9 knockdowns. Again, Sacred Hospital has so many close, what do you call this? Very close corners, and as well as
tight like walkways, right?
Exactly, and objects really close together, so it's very advantageous to a Soul Weaver just putting the webs down and getting movement speed at every single corner. So it's really difficult to maneuver on a player that has already mastery on certain objects, like where exactly they are in the map. So even though they're up against really skilled and high-tier survivors, against a very skilled hunter, it's just so difficult for the survivor side. But anyways, we're heading on over to round number 2.
Absolutely, going into round number 2, and we'll have to see if they have some kind of adaptation for the strategy, because we saw in the previous round, the Soul Weaver had a talent that that reduced the kind of like stun duration.
Yes.
So COAII goes in, gets baited out, uses the flare, gets the stun off, and it's like, okay, I have a couple of seconds to go and rest my teammate, or I can rescue my teammate. The Soul Weaver just gets into position, gets the Terror Shock off, and then instantly you just went from losing 1 player to losing 2.
Exactly, and that's the perfect setup for a player like Assault on the Soul Weaver, and that Spider Queen. But we'll see. Round number 2, again, it's a clean slate because round number 1 ended up in a tie. So with that said, each of them has 1 ban. Blu-ray Scar used the Photographer earlier. But this time it's Moon River Park. He could potentially use the Photographer again. He could use Joseph again. But we're not really sure if it's against these high-tier survivors, if it's going to be as effective as earlier.
I do quite like Soul Weaver on River Park. But as you mentioned, going for the Photographer, I feel like if I remember correctly, there are like 3 or 4 spots that are very, very advantageous for the Photographer in this map. So it means that, you know, there is quite a decent amount of potential for them to work with. I feel like this is just a matter of how much homework they've done, right? If you've done your homework, you know what good spots there are, you know how to counter them as Photographer, you know how to counter them as Survivor. You have a pretty even match overall.
Exactly. You can get a surprise Terror Shock while they're ciphering.
Walk out of the
photo world. Exactly. But we'll see if that's indeed what Blu-ray Scar is aiming for, because the Ripper is actually banned, Mind's Eye banned, so everyone is just practically forced to go back to the mechanic. But DYC again, first ranking forward at the moment, and I'm really curious because I believe John is the second ranked Mind's Eye, so he's forced to go Seer this time around. He has been spamming Coordinator and Seer as well in his games recently, so just in case Mind's Eye gets banned, he's that's his fall through.
And Blu-ray Scar now looking to go for that Soul Weaver. So despite the fact that that Ripper was being banned out, so it's something that he's defaulted to a lot in his first rounds when it's not being banned, instead now going for the Soul Weaver. Pretty good choice overall, I still say. I think that Moon River Park does generally seem to be a pretty good map for the Soul Weaver to work with.
Man, I'm really liking this Hunter matchup. They have similar, but they have different play styles, of course. Like, for example, Yosol has really good aim on the Soul Weaver. Let's see what Blu-ray Scar decides to do on the Spider Queen. Yeah,
Blu-ray Scar goes fast. Yosol has such accurate long-range shots.
Yes, actually. I'm so late to the party. I just got that. Man, oh man. Anyway, hunt is on for Blu-ray Scar. Definitely a huge map once again. So the movement speed bonuses from the web slingshots will absolutely help maneuver around the map. It's not a rocket dash like the Joker has, but it will do the work. It will do the trick. You know, it's actually different now. For example, the previous matches, the first 10 seconds, the Hunter always finds the Survivor first, but now this is a different situation. John has 1 charge on his owl, so he can block the first attack.
Okay, coming in. We'll see himself take the first shot, but that's not too big of an issue just yet. Rest of the team is starting to look for a couple of ciphers on the other side of the map, but 2 players now moving in position and trying and block off Blu-ray Scar. That's quite a heavy investment to try and defend for this. Does manage to absorb the blow as well. As use the power to just provide a little bit of distance, give a little bit of space. Nice shot on the DYC. The forward here is such a good position to try and move in to provide support for the team.
Okay, the problem with this, because normally when one person is kiting, and then the next thing you know is 3 Cyphers. Oh no, he was too late for the stun from the forward. But you see 2 people distracting Blue Racer. So that means you only have the robot, the mechanic, and as well as the perfumer decoding at the moment. So it's not as effective as 3 people decoding, but at the same time, I feel like Blue Racer is in a very good spot. 4 Cyphers left despite so much seconds taken away from Blue Racer. We'll see what COAII decides to do.
We do see the first Cypher being taken down. It's so unfortunate. I think the forward actually missed on that charge, and I think that because of that, Blue Racer didn't end up dropping the Seer there.
Here comes the mind games. Oh no, gets the first hit in, but look, he's super slowed down at the moment.
Oh no, it's just a trade back, and I'm not sure how valuable this is.
Yeah, you lost your savior, you lost your rescuer, so therefore you're going to be relying on either the perfumer or mechanic, not the seer, because the seer has been on the chair. It's going to be too risky. Here comes the teleport.
Jumping forward, John might get taken down, tries to jump onto the roller coaster there, but just barely misses out.
Oh no. If only you could ride while in the balloon and then take the seer for a ride, but at the moment, here comes the movement speed, going back to the chair.
They find the save onto forward there, and Seer now being put on the chair for the second time in a much more precarious situation. They have a couple of Cyphers very close to completion there.
Great job tanking, taking turns being the savior and the kiter here. At the moment, John is so in trouble at the moment. Actually,
nice save there, baiting out against the terror shot, but we still see John get taken down. What even is this?
No, B41 tried so much to body block. It's not gonna be enough. Still hits John. And I believe it already reached the threshold, so when Racer places him on the chair, he should fly off to the manor. Or did they clutch it? Nope, they didn't clutch it. So already managed to get through the threshold. Now B41 will be the next kiter. The rest will be focusing on decoding. COAII might get spotted again.
All right, so AYX has her robot on one of the Cyphers on the side. So now they have 2 Cyphers remaining. She's just going to save 1 Cypher to be almost fully completed, and then they move over to that last Cypher when they need to. So they can pop both of them simultaneously and get the extra heal back.
Exactly. But COAII gets caught out once again. Seer's gone. They're down to 3 survivors at the moment. This is looking okay for T4F. Not the best. They're doing their best to decode. Mechanic's still okay, still safe. Unlike the rest of the what do you call this? The rest of the games where the fastest decoder actually gets caught out immediately. But this is different. This is a different game. 2 Cyphers remaining. 3 players still left forward. About to go back to the manor. No one's here invited for the save. B41 will try to clutch it.
Oh man, try and chase forward now, but running the no more perfumes left. That's going to be so difficult. They managed to find the save, but how much value did they be able to get here?
Where's the movement speed?
Charging forward, trying to kite left and right here. They do manage to sidestep away. UIC now the target of focus. No pallets in his path to block for him. Oh!
No! The mechanic tried to body block, but couldn't make it in time. So COAII ends up.
Crazy.
Wow. Blue Racer doing the work, doing the job. COAII second time on the chair.
Come on, 2 Cyphers left. Just finish 2 Cyphers.
Oh no. Everyone's busy saving each other. Oh. No pallets. Forced to turn around. Perfumer is 1 shot away. AliX is still busy.
Okay, that's 1 more Cypher being finished. 1 more Cypher. Come on.
1 more Cypher.
There are 2 Cyphers right now that are very close to completion. So they have 2 choices. You can see Blue Racer making a great play by setting up the webs in position to move back and forth between these 2 Cyphers very quickly.
It's definitely going to be tough because, again, you mentioned Perfumer has no stacks in the perfume. Mechanic is not is still full health, but at the same time, you really definitely want to probably focus on decoding. So we'll see what the plan is in mind. Probably try to distract away from the really machine. Oh my god. They're decide to heal. They're near the pallet. Will they be able to get stun in? That's the question. Separate. Blue Racer focusing on AliX.
they managed to take the attention away from each other, and Blue Rays kind of got confused there, looking to decide which target would be more effective for them to go and try and pick up.
Oh no! The vaulting speed is like so slow, and Mechanic just watching the animation finish and like, okay, you're there. I'll just hit you, Terror Shock. Meanwhile, we got Perfumer running at the other end of the map, but
Come on.
interesting.
Oh man, the Perfumer can't even go for the Cypher right away because she wants to save it to get the full heal onto a teammate too.
Right.
But I don't know if they can afford to make such a risky play.
Exactly, you need another member to at least make that play. But this is so awkward. You're torn between getting the Cypher in, but Razor's there, misses V41. Is this the chance to get the rescue? This could potentially be the chance. Mechanic doesn't reach his threshold just yet. Here comes a teleport. Teleport goes to back near the rocket chair.
Yeah, with the kind of web system that Blue Rays is setting up for this game, just moving between the ciphers, between the rocket chair, he's one step away from making it worldwide too.
Exactly, and it's right near the dungeon. What item did wasn't able to get an item? This might be another clean sweep, friend. Attacks an object, the terrain.
Okay. Now getting taken down. We still see V41 making a pretty decent attempt to try and kite away from this, but stuck in between a couple of pallets. The pallet's just gonna get taken down right now. Should see them getting taken out. One more hit. Yep.
Oh man, it's a battle of the hunters, man. Everyone is doing a great job. You saw it, Ray Scar here. The monster wasn't able. One Cypher left too.
One Cypher. that's the kind of greed. It's like you want to be able to go save a teammate. At the same time, you know, is it really worth it at that point? You can just let your teammate die and just go for like dungeon or go and try and make the escape. But I guess so. In this game, we did see Mechanics spend a lot of time picking up the ciphers, 333%.
That's the highest we've seen in the tournament so far in our top 4.
Like, that's 3 full ciphers being completed by the Mechanic alone. And this is generally the kind of strategy that's supposed to be like done, right?
Yes.
This is how a standard game should be run. I kind of felt like they faltered a little bit in the end game. But overall, I definitely think that there's a lot of potential for this early game. So I'm looking forward to see what they have in store for the last one.
Yeah, Ray Scar has really good tunneling priorities, which survivors to prioritize first. And, you know, GYC was just trying his best to distract the hunter.
Yeah.
But went back to the chair too soon.
Running out of items, honestly, right?
Yes.
It feels like they are pretty reliant on items. You have the forward, you have the perfumer. I mean, it works for quite a while, but then once you hit this like mid-late game, it's difficult, right?
Yes, indeed. And we saw the perfumer actually trying the last resort of probably finding an item, but because of, again, a maxed out presence,
yeah,
Spider
it's just too
Queen,
difficult.
it's just so difficult. Wasn't able to get an item to save. Maybe a football for the movement speed, perhaps. Not really sure what could have helped.
Yeah, at that point, it's kind of, you know, like when you're 1v1 versus the hunter, I think it's basically
Dunzo.
Yeah.
Unless you manage to get away on the
Somehow.
dungeon. Somehow drop to the dungeon. But yeah, that's the second round, first half. We'll see how Yassault is going to adjust, because again, there's a first ban on the second round, and either, again, you choose between the Ripper, you choose between the Soul Weaver. Either way, they're still really scary hunters.
Yeah, it looks like that's the main priority with these with a lot of these hunters right now. It's between Soul Reaper, and between the Soul Weaver and between the Ripper.
You just combined Ripper and Soul Weaver. That's so cool. That is an absolute scary monster right there.
You imagine a Soul Weaver that goes invisible and
Spider
has a ranged attack.
Oh god, like
double range attack.
Oh my god. Foggy blades and the web.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That would be
Please no. I mean, you stop at Invisible Spider and you're done. You're
done.
You
stop at Invisible Spider.
Thank you. No, thank you.
That's the out of game fear too, you know. That's an out of game mechanic too.
Oh my god. Anyway, we're going to proceed to the second half soon, but they're going to switch sides now. So Yassault, a very, very scary hunters, top 2 in the ranks at the moment. But again, on the other side of the spectrum, we've got top 1 survivor, which is Hokage. on the
Hokage, yeah.
coordinator. But you can see these teams are actually having a difficult time. So again, what happens if this is another tie, Grandin?
I mean, then the last round really just decides everything, right? That's kind of like the all or
That's
nothing,
true.
right?
Yeah.
But I do feel like there's a decent chance that this map is going to give a little bit more space for survivors to try and get out, because we saw how close it got in the first half of this round.
Exactly.
I think that with Hokage, with the rest of the team, they are very, very accustomed to playing, and they are very good survivors overall. So there's a good chance that, you know, with a larger map, with something that's more difficult to get tunneled in on, they could potentially get out.
That's true. But we're dealing with Moon River Park. Again, this is like one bands only. I feel like the game will really change once we head on over to round 3. But then again, it's all about focus, because obviously both of these hunters are so really good at their craft in terms of being a hunter that they can, even facing up against high tier survivors, they still manage to get a perfect score. So it's all about containing that focus, just knowing what to do at the right time and at the right place. So at the moment, Hoka will still stick to her guns and settle with the coordinator.
Coordinator is going to be that default pick that they work with very often, and Mind's Eye Perfumer. Wow, what a kite comp. Now looking to see what Yosol has in mind, and yeah, just no hesitation going for the Ripper. Very good in this space. But at the same time, Mind's Eye might be something that could work quite well against this.
Yeah, if you don't find the Mind's Eye and the mechanic, and then you see like Tempted doing the perfumer works, then most likely they'll get a ton of ciphers, probably like 3 ciphers by the end, when Tempted gets stuck in a corner and gets put in the chair. But we'll see how this turns out. Again, it's all about focus at the moment, because we've seen how Yosol has dealt with this map. But again, back then it was Soul Reaver. We'll see. Mind's Eye. First one.
Yeah, Mind's Eye going to be the target of focus coming in. Seer being banned out means that there's no assistance over to Dead to try and prevent this first strike. We've seen Dead been the target of focus for the past couple of games. Dead is such a sad person right now, constantly just being chased after. Actually managing to get the stun on this. I mean, I say actually like I wasn't expecting that, but you know, Dead has been tunneled so hard in so many games, being able to kite out against the.
Ooh.
I can't say anything.
Yeah,
I can't praise anybody.
Yeah, this is the difference between different maps. Like for example, you just are wide open because you can see still vision. Because in River Park you don't have walls too much. You have crates, so just half a body and you're fine. You can still see where they are. So you can still aim and set for the kill. And now Hokage will try to set up for the rescue this time around. Yeah,
Magician going to be able to pick up that first cipher for the team. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit difficult. Quite split decision coming in. Hokage gets the 6-second stun, but there's going to be the reduction coming out, and it's a Terror Shock. I feel like this happened before.
This happened before. This is completely...
This is exactly the same, right? It's just different hunters.
Different hunters, different map. Earlier it was Sacred Hospital. But this is the Persona build like Yosol wants to get. Now I must stack all the survivors in one area.
Please tell me that this isn't going to work. What's going on?
Oh no. Okay, let him go. It's totally fine. So good body block from Tempted.
We'll be able to split the damage, so 2 of them managed to escape. Wow, that was... If 3 survivors went down that tiny corner there, I think the Magician is like ready to call it GG.
Yes, I totally agree. Now Dead is still being focused on because she's the one that got into the chair already. Good stun from Dead. Going to move over to this side where there's better walls and better pallets. Yeah. So you won't be able to kite and do the range down. Great stun again.
Is that the 3rd stun that's connected onto the Ripper this game?
Yes. Yes, that's the 3rd stun. So this is where Mind's Eye really wants to kite. You see through the walls. Another stun, but
Hokage comes in. We'll get dropped here, but it's not too bad. Hokage can be rescued at this point, and not having been on the chair just yet means they have a little bit more space. 3 ciphers remaining. You can see 1 cipher up very north beside the tent is almost completed. So they have a very easy clutch cipher there. 2 ciphers remaining now.
Oh wow! Still managed to get no stun whatsoever happened, but that's 2 ciphers down. So Dead could potentially be the sacrifice to get to this point of the game where that's 2 ciphers. So Music Clan is trying their best coordinator still down. Not sure if he has the persona, the exit path to self-heal back up.
Honestly, not the worst thing in the world, considering right now they have the Mind's Eye wasn't really able to contribute that much towards the late game. And since Coordinator does suffer quite a bit with a teammate on the rocket chair, just losing that teammate quickly and just moving on, like you know when you get like you just gotta brush it off. Just gotta brush off the losses quickly and try and move forward.
Yeah, take advantage of the lead that you got. No one was on the rocket chair just yet. It was just Mind's Eye, so he's hoping.
Wow!
He actually got her
around the corner too.
Great angle.
One Cypher left up, Medusi. So they have that Cypher up north, but I think they neglected that, and right now trying to go for a Cypher all the way down west.
Yeah, exactly, where it's easier to probably switch between rescuing and decoding, perhaps. But right now, it's the job of two. X tempted. Oh no!
Oh man. Okay, they managed to find it. That's the last Cypher. Great timing being used there. They managed to find this last-ditch effort to try and escape. Okage looking to try and run towards any pallets, find some safety, dodging away from that first strike. This might be their one and only chance.
Okay, missed the hit right there. Where are you going to go? No pallets left on your side. Gets the hit, last hit. This could
That's
be...
fine.
Yeah.
Escape open on the bottom side.
Bottom side open. There we go. It's not going to be a full flat 5.
2 points over to BC here.
Wow. This is a complete turnaround. They're still kind of... Okay, they're making sure that Tempted gets away. They're still staying. Like, okay, I probably got teleport, but no, never mind. Good job by Boosted Clan. Making a difference. It's not going to be a deja vu round. And
yeah,
this
that's
time
2 points. So that's 2 plus the original 5, correct?
Yes.
So that's got 7, so they managed to win the second round.
The second round,
Second
yes.
round.
It's going to be interesting because it's do or die on round
last
number 3.
round,
Yes.
Very likely could be a draw. Could be a loss. If they lose the next round, we have to go to tiebreakers.
Exactly, and good job to Emrakul TPE. 300% decoding
on the dot.
progress. Exactly. And wasn't even spotted by the hunter whatsoever, was busy just decoding throughout the whole game. Mind's Eye, Dad did a pretty good job kiting the whole 84 seconds and bought enough time.
It feels like, right now, what it feels like to me is they need to go back onto Hospital, or at least BC, right? It's 1 draw, 1 win for them. If they go back to Hospital, it's very likely the Hunters will full clear both sides. If that happens, then it's super easy to get the draw and they just win.
But it will depend on what bans there is going to be for Hunters.
That's true.
So what if Ripper and Soul Weaver ban? So the dynamics is definitely going to change. So you fall back to the 3rd best thing in your Hunter pool. What we've seen so far from Blue Racer was a Photographer. We're not exactly sure yet because we've never seen T4F in
a third round.
3. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a potential deficit they have. They might be lacking in their champion the Hunter pool, and that might hurt them if we go into this 3rd round. It's the first time we've seen them go into the 3rd round.
Yes.
Man, that's intense.
Yeah, I'm so excited. But we'll see who the MVP is gonna be, and it's gonna be Blue Race Car this time around. So it's a 1-1 on the Soul Weaver, both of them. 21 strikes on I know. The ranged attacks really make a humongous difference in the movement speed from the web. So it's gonna be interesting. 2 bans next round. What Hunter are you gonna pick?
Is that directed at me, or is he just asking like what Hunter are they gonna pick?
It's like a cliffhanger thing, but you can answer if you want.
Well, we'll see. I'm not gonna put my my bets on the table just yet. There's a lot of different options that are still available on the Hunter side.
Yep, I mean there's still round number 3. We can discuss that when we get there.
That being said, guys, we are going into a quick little highlight section reel as we get ready for the 3rd round. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome everybody back once again for our final round, potentially our final round of this best of 3 game series for the Call of the Abyss Best 2 NAEU qualifiers. I'm Gimnism, and with me is Riku, and we'll bring you guys the action, and it is an exciting match. The scoreline is now 1 win and 1 draw, and all of this has been brought to you guys by Happy Valley. A place to go to after you've had an intense morning. Oh, in our case, morning, but for them, it's like nighttime, right?
Yes,
so an intense night of hardcore, intense Identity 5 gameplay. You can go to Happy Valley and chill out, relax. Yeah, have an overall good time, because I think I'm having a good time right now.
Same here. It's super duper hyped. It could be potentially be the last round, round number 3, where we get to find out who is going to be the representative for NA and EU for the Identity 5 Call of the Abyss Global Finals, which is going to be held in Shanghai, China. Imagine, they're going to come face-to-face with other teams from different regions. 16 teams in total, friend.
Yeah, 16 teams out of what? How, like 6 plus regions?
Yes, 6 regions, 16 teams. It's going to be difficult.
Big money.
Yeah, big money. And a lot of like experience as well, because it's going to be a LAN tournament. That's going to be crazy and exciting. But here we go, round number 3, 2 bans for each side, Hunter side, Survivor side. So the dynamics is definitely going to be changed.
Yeah, we starting to see out a couple of these bans, removing the Soul Weaver early on, removing that Mind's Eye early on, now Ripper. So you get rid of these 2 Hunters that we've been seeing so frequently in our matches.
Yes.
Very quickly just getting rid of those. And then we also see the Seer being banned out for the Hunters. So let's see what T4F are going to go for. Sacred Heart Hospital. This is like the map that I was talking about. This is the map that's going to set things up for the Hunter to just go in and clean house.
Doctor is going to be selected for T4F. It did work last time, I believe, but it was during the exhibition match, correct?
I think so.
Yes. This is really interesting. So, okay, you got at least the self-heal. You got the unlimited syringe at least, but then again, kiting wise, you will only have to rely on DYC. This is actually surprising. There we go, Blu-ray Scar for the 2nd time around will land the photographer. And I'm curious how this is gonna pan out, because this is a very interesting composition on the Survivor side.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where the Doctor kind of fulfills that role. It's more like the clutch. So you have the Perfumer for the kite, you have the Coordinator as the rescue, you have the Mechanic as the fast decoder, and then you have the Doctor as sort of this clutch role coming in to fulfill all sorts of different positions. We already see the photo wall immediately being activated as we walk into this 3rd round.
Oh, are they going to get a terror shock? Oh, no. Because she actually exited the Cypher machine before anything else happened. The DYC not in the forward this time, but on the Perfumer instead. Interesting. Change. They're stuck in the photo room.
Yeah, pretty speedy vaults coming in from Blue Racer, and Blue Racer's going to have to chase after a lot of these characters now. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. A bunch of pallets just coming in the way. Working in this photo wall means that a lot of the other players have to just go for the fast decode, quickly manage to find it, because if they don't manage to do so, all the progress is going to be reverted once they exit the photo wall. So this is very critical for them to just keep working on those ciphers.
Exactly. So they're running out of time. But gets the hit in, but wow!
Stun coming in.
Flare used very early instead of, you know, the usual how you play the Coordinator. You use it normally when you go for the rescue, but that means you're not, the flare is not available for the rescue anymore. So you always see.
And somehow Perfumer gets caught out, and that's going to be so devastating, considering, you know, this is the character that's supposed to have 3 sets of the Perfume, be able to reverse position, and overall have incredible kiting power over any Hunter, in fact. The fact that it go down so early on kind of goes against its philosophy.
It is very awkward, because normally once the Perfumer gets caught out, at least it buys you a lot of time, and the moment it happens, okay, Tide Turner actually being used right there. But what I was trying to say is that at least around 3 ciphers has already been completed with the amount of time you have distracted the Hunter. But at this point, DYC must not go back to the chair. I believe it wasn't actually able to throw, to go up to the half of the threshold. So I think DYC is a little bit safe. I presume.
Go back, yeah, nice timing on that. I think that was almost max timing as well, so finds a little bit of space, gets the pallet, gets the kite, back and forth, stalling for time. One Cypher already been completed. They did slow down a little bit with the coordinator having to head over to provide some assistance there, but not too bad overall.
Yeah, DYC continuing with the chase. Doing pretty good. This area has a lot of pallets, but on the other side of the pallet, wrong side of the pallet rather. And DYC will go back to the chair, which means coordinator will probably try to do her best to rescue once again, but again, no flares whatsoever. I feel like that's an okay rocket chair, but at the same time, there's a lot of terrain to work with. There's a lot of pallets to work with once the rescue comes in. But they actually enable the rescue despite 2 members were seen in the area.
One by one, they're all just crossing this vault.
Oh my god!
Oh, does set the last effort on the coordinator, I believe. Accelerate decoding.
For Cypher still. Everyone's busy running around, not decoding at all.
Yeah. Running around like headless chickens at this point. You can just see the mechanic doing her best. She's just saying, all right, you know what? I'm just going to focus on trying to get all the Cypher machines down. You guys just stall for time for as long as possible. It doesn't look like it's working because there's still 4 Cyphers up.
Exactly. And DYC, that's the 3rd time you're going to be in the chair. And let's go bye-bye. I mean, losing 1 member and 4 Cypher machines, you are not in a good spot at all. And you got max presence already for Blue Razor. Blue Race Car? Blue Racer? What am I saying? Blue Race Car, rather. He's the car, not the racer.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
Anyway, he's in the photo world hunting. Hunting he goes. Coordinator is 1 hit. But there's a doctor at least still around the corner. Around the pallets, at least. Oof. Oh, great job, though. Stunning Blue Racer. Blue Race Car. I keep saying Blue. What's wrong with me, Brandon? Blue Race Car.
Maybe the player needs to take a hint, you know? Blue Racer just rolls off the tongue better.
Actually, that's a good point. Oh, he's focused. There's the blink in. Good job on the hit, though. 4 Cyphers still, Brandon. 4 Cyphers still.
I can't tell if it's because right now they're trying to set up, you know, that last second instant rush on all the Cyphers, or if it's just because they haven't had the time to focus on Cyphers. I'm not actually sure what's going on at this point. I'm just watching as the survivors are just running around.
Maybe you're right. There are a couple of Cyphers that are almost completed if you check at the northern part of the map.
Yeah.
We'll see, because Blue Race Car is actually putting it at the opposite side. So this is actually very smart for Blue Race Car. So now you're torn. Now you're far away from who you want to rescue.
That's true. It's difficult for them to go for the rescue. At the same time, it's also difficult for Blue Race Car to go over and stop the people that are decoding.
Exactly.
So it's a double-edged sword here. Oh, I actually managed to find the bracers.
Oh. Mechanic has the football. No controller anymore.
Dodging away from a couple of these shots.
I wonder if it's going to be enough. There's the mind games. There's the mind games. There's the chair shot going to happen. You want to take 1 hit, releases the doctor. But...
All right. YX, doctor going to get taken down again. Yeah, just dashing away. You're going to see us 1 more charge on that. Otherwise, 2 Cyphers remaining at this point. Looks like the doctor is going to get taken out.
And 2 more left. Earlier it was a 2-2, correct? But now we're at the beginning. We're at the beginning of round number 3. Again, this is very crucial.
1 remaining. They get this last one, they will be able to find the heal provided to their talent.
That's true. The talent that enables when the exit gates open, then yes, that is borrowed time. If they do have that, I feel like they do have that. A lot of them have been taking it based from the previous matches. So I think that's what they're aiming for. There's only 1 left. That's on that side, the one near the hospital.
Again?
Yes. He knows. He knows.
dungeon nearby too, so pretty difficult to go for that.
Yeah, definitely going to be tricky. So they have to abandon ship because it's going to take a while to decode the rest of the, what do you call this, the rest of the machines. So he's just playing around this area, this hospital area. There's a lot of areas to kite with, either at top, bottom, you can fall. Whoa! He tried to hit, it missed. Second time though, hits though.
Oh man. Okay, looks like they managed to get the mechanic here.
First time on the chair too. And the dungeon is all the way over the other side.
Not 100% sure what V41 was looking to do over on the side there. Just kiting on the outskirts of the map, but yeah, it just doesn't seem to make all that much sense to me right now.
Absolutely true. And this is an awkward spot. You only have one pallet to work with in this area. Actually, make that two. But if you're going to revolve around that,
okay.
No. Race car.
Okay.
Eugenius, 5 points again. Round number 3. This is gonna be tricky.
Yeah.
When the map swaps. I mean, not map swaps.
When
swaps.
the side swap.
Side swap. Thank you, Grant. Thank you.
So yeah, again, this goes back to the theory that Sacred Heart Hospital really is just very heavily Hunter favored, which makes it very easy to get a draw, which makes it very easy for the team which has one win to win the round overall.
Exactly, and I feel like that is the plan in mind. So for me, if Blue Race Car has Photographer as his third best pick as a hunter, which has a lot of field control, what for Assault later? But anyway, looking at the stats, good job on John, 284% on decoding and 115 for DYC for trying to buy time for the rest of the survivors to decode.
Yeah, it was a good effort. They managed to come down to that last cipher, but unfortunately, it felt like V41 was a little bit disconnected from what the rest of the team was trying to do, and that pathing that went up the top side, you could see going the long way around the map, being far away from his teammate, being far away from the last decodable cipher, was maybe just a lapse. But you can see how such a small mistake compounds on such a small map.
Exactly. It was quite far from the dungeon as well.
Yeah.
So no outs. It's a complete 5 for Blue Race Car's team. Boosted Clan. Really, really nice name. But for Team for Fame, on the other hand, the pressure is on them.
Yeah.
They really... It's going to be difficult. Yeah.
But this is...
Yeah, even if
this is set in stone, right?
Yeah, set in stone. Like even if they have like full 5 points.
Yeah.
Even.
It's a draw.
It's a draw, and it's still one win for Boosted Clan.
Yeah. So this is moving into that final half of the last round. Things are looking a little bit bad for our other team here.
Yeah, for
Team
for Fame, T for F.
T for F.
I keep saying like in my head, team for the win. Maybe it's just my mind playing games with me. But one question that has to be answered: 2 bans and a hunter. What will Yassault play this time around? We haven't seen him in round number 3, so I'm curious. Is it also going to be a photographer? Is it going to be? Are we finally going to see a geisha? Are we finally going to see a joker, a clown once again? So it will really depend. Like some of these hunters really love playing around. Like the Wu Chang is also a good favorite. Yeah. A very strong pick. I think one of the drawbacks with Wu Chang is like switching sides, and it takes a while. So that's another disadvantage. The survivors could easily try to get away, but the skill set of a Wu Chang can immediately take it, like for example, even it out either way.
Yeah, I think that's something that you mentioned as well, being that the transition time definitely is something that can be worked against you. But on such a small map like the hospital, I feel like even if you, so you start running a little bit, it doesn't even matter that much because he can just chase after you in such a small map. It might take a little bit longer, but it's not like they're very advanced or very large kiting mechanics. It's a relatively straightforward map, right? So I think there's a decent chance for them to just work around that and just go in, pick whatever they want, and still have a pretty good odds.
What would you pick if you're cornered into like a third hunter because Ripper is banned?
I'm a clown main.
Oh,
so
right.
This is like I hardly even seen my main.
It's like I don't need to think about that.
I don't need to think about that. This is easy call for me.
Okay, I'm really excited for this round 3 second half to see what is Yusol's pick. But we'll see if BC decides to play around a little bit because, again, they have already one win. And no matter what the outcome is going to be, even if they get a draw, it's still BC's. They are the global final representative for NA and EU. But we'll have to see. Doctor actually getting banned by Assault.
Yeah, getting rid of the Doctor there. Quite interesting choice to get rid of the Doctor. I'm not exactly sure when the Doctor has suddenly risen to prominence, especially we've seen like one other game of the Doctor apart from the last one. So quite interesting to see that this is a second ban. Otherwise, starting things off, gets the Magician, gets the Coordinator, just very standard picks overall. Really, the only question left unanswered is what's going to come up from Yosol. What's the Hunter pick that's going to make the difference? Unfortunately, I don't think that even they get a perfect game, it still won't be enough. It's a second draw. With one win to BC, they should be able to pick this game regardless. So just see whatever they go for.
It's another photographer.
Mirror match.
Great field control terrain. Field control. It can be all over the place. But we haven't seen that surprise attack from the Terror Shock as a photographer just yet. Just because you're up against really high tier survivors, so they really know what to expect up against a photographer. It's
difficult to pull something like that off on these players.
You gotta keep hitting that half health. Wow. So at the moment, Photo World priority for Assault. This is strong pick to manage to get a survivor. So they're decoding. It's gonna be cut in half. Interesting. Decides to go out instead. So one thing I noticed, the Hunters really love this chair right here because it's near the hospital. It's in between everything else.
We see the first coming off the photo world, so they have to try and work around this constant reset of progress.
Yeah.
Magician being set onto the chair first. The mechanic coming in. Oh no, it's a little bit tunneled vision, I think. That's gonna get knocked down.
Interesting. Interesting, because from what I'm seeing right now, Tempted are not moving as well. Well, there's Hokage, actually, around. A Magician already managed to heal. Here comes the rescue.
Coordinator coming by, looking to try and pick up the save on the teammate. Magician will manage to find a little bit of safety from his teammate there.
No pallets whatsoever in this area. It's just plain kiting, gets the hit, far away from the rocket chair. That's perfect for the rescue.
Oh, nice teleport back. Yuso does manage to force the last effort from the mechanic. So just chasing after mechanic should turn out quite well for him.
Yeah, great side turner.
Whoa, a little bit too far back, I think. Teleport a little bit further away, and Yuso will love terrain in the way as well.
Bad robot. Stay on the ground. So it finds dead on the floor. Again, it's like the dead curse, like the first.
Yeah, that is always the first person that every hunter goes for.
Well, it just shows how much of a threat, or either really, really bad timing. We'll see. Strikes the bed right there. Tempted will use his area to kite. Tempted does have like 3 perfumes still unstacked. It could be utilized well. We'll see. Pallet not dropped down just yet. Flare.
6-second stun. They might be able to go save the mechanic right now. Looks like that will be the case, jumping into the photo wall. Yosol opting to not chase after just yet.
Yeah, mechanic still not saved. But Coordinator tanked a hit right there. It's going to be tricky. He's going to be a one-shot at the moment. Utilize the photo world effectively. Interesting. Where's the Terror Shock?
Okay, coming out. Looking for the hit.
No Terror Shock. Managed to exit immediately. Undeciphering the machine.
Ooh.
It's really...
Forcing him back out. 4 ciphers left. It's a difficult round, you know, even with the draw. The match is already kind of set. So I'm going to try to like not focus on that. I'm going to try and focus just on the game as is, purely on the gameplay from some of the best teams that have managed to come in, play through the entire qualifiers, because they have to go through like what, Steam City, from 50 teams down to our top 4.
Exactly. So these teams really put so much effort and time enjoying this tournament. And just as you mentioned, they went through Steam City, High Tower, and it's just amazing to watch these high-tier teams perform so well and see how important it is in each round when you ban, depending on the map as well, how your performance is going to go. 2 Cyphers left! 2 Cyphers left, Brandon. The dungeon is nearby, but only 1 member dead.
I'm liking what they're doing. They have 1 Cypher up northwest that's almost completed, and they have 1 Cypher down southwest that's like what, 30%, 40%. So they just rush that bottom one, move up top side. As long as X-Tento is able to draw some time away, it's an easy match.
Definitely. At least he got the blink 140% cooldown Terror Shock. But take note, Perfumer has no perfumes anymore. They're focusing on this 1 Cypher.
Yeah. This is the Cypher that's almost completed. So they have 2 Cyphers that are almost completed right now.
They're guarding that area well. Yassault knows what he's doing. Second ranking.
Wow, they just kited past Yassault, just moving back towards that last Cypher. Oh my goodness.
Oh my. He goes back.
Whoa.
Oh, almost. He could have gotten the hit, but no. No charge attack either. Attacked right away. The range wasn't enough. Yassault goes back to the Cypher that's almost done.
Man, how little is left on that Cypher?
I have no clue, man. But Mechanic is down. No buff.
Coordinator gets down too. They should be able to find the Cypher up northwest and then move southwest.
That is the plan for sure. This is the first time on the chair for the Coordinator. Yeah, they're gonna finish that up quickly.
Yep. 1 Cypher left remaining pretty soon.
No resources, no items left for all the
save. Oh no! A misplay.
We're running out of time, but then again, there was not much pressure. No illusions to work with, no wands.
No items at all.
This is tough. Okay, 1 Cypher left. 1 Cypher left, ladies and gentlemen. Can they make it? Can they do the rescue?
1 versus 1 versus the Hunter is almost entirely a Hunter situation.
Perfumer 1 hit though.
Yeah, 1 hit, 1v1. Getting down.
There we go. It's a full 5 points for Team for Fame. Congratulations.
Drawing out that final round, but we do see that 1 win. That 1 win.
Yes.
Made all the difference. Giving it over to Team VC, I believe.
Yes, Team VC Boosted Clan. Congratulations. They will be your NAEU representatives for the global finals in Shanghai, China.
Yes, solid gameplay, a very well-drafted plan, executed well, and they've come to the end of the first step. But now they have the next step, moving into an international competition between 6 different regions, between 16 different teams, playing for that 1 million yuan prize pool, and that's a lot of money.
Definitely a lot of money, and of course, the glory and the experience of testing your skills against the other regions. But here we go. Look at the scoreboard: 11 knockdowns for Yassault. And pretty even out in terms of containing the Hunter, but we've got X-Tempted there on the 88 seconds.
Yeah, overall it looked like a pretty solid match from them. I think they could have potentially went for the end. It felt like they weren't as necessarily... They didn't feel like the pressure from it, you know?
Yeah.
Their Hunter carried them. Like the previous half, right? The Hunter carried them. Blue Race Car gave them a very easy win. Exactly.
And you said carry. Imagine their slogan, again, is carrying boosted survivors 1 step at a time. And carried indeed to the global finals. But yeah, all of the members from Boosted Clan were really, really good. Blue Race Car on a Ripper, on whatever photographer.
Whatever, just playing
Soul
whatever,
Weaver.
honestly.
He's really, really good. And I'm looking forward to seeing their performance in the Global LAN Finals.
Yeah, it's definitely something to be checking out. Man, we come to the end of this entire BO3 series. We've managed to see a couple of teams. It's so unfortunate that we actually lost out the opportunity for a 3rd and 4th placing. So with 5C, unfortunately forfeiting, they will not be able to get that. But still gotta give congratulations to our top teams coming into this competition. MVP over the Blue Rays car. Is this much of a surprise to you?
Not a surprise.
Not a
It's
surprise?
Blue Rays car, man.
Pretty sure that he did more than one knockdown.
Yes, actually. 16 strikes and survivors. This is, you can see how flexible and the mastery and maps, mastery in the hunters, and as well as the survivors. It's just a really, really interesting matchup to see the top teams from different regions, NAEU, and now we've come to the conclusion. And here's the summary of our last and final grand match between the 2 finalists, BC and T4F. And there we go. All draws except for that round number 2, which made a huge difference.
You can see the map, the hospital map really is very hunter favored.
You're absolutely correct. And there we go. Here are the final standings.
Yeah, it's been a long path for BC coming to the end of this competition, but they finally managed to grasp that 1 seed that NAU have got.
Exactamundo. Mundo. BC.
Exactamundo.
Yeah, amigo. BC really did a great job, and I'm looking forward to more styles and what do you call this? More synergy and more strategies from this team.
Absolutely. Let's take a quick look at the highlights before we wrap things up. Some incredible gameplay from them, so just check them out real quick. We'll be right back. Thank you everybody for joining us on this amazing journey down the path for the NAEU qualifiers for the Call of the Abyss 2. It's been a very exciting day. First cast for Identity 5 and with Riku nonetheless. Yeah, the amazing Riku. We've been this has been a great series for all of us. I think that the game has expanded a little bit with the recent patches, giving us a very exciting set of matches to be seen.
Yeah, it was great casting with you. It was really, I'm really, really honored to be able to cast the Call of the Abyss 2, and looking forward to more exciting matches from the other regions. And it's so nice to see, if ever, like the different comparisons between the rest of the servers.
Yeah, and with that being said, guys, I like to believe that every single match, every player plays their heart out. So it's been an amazing time casting for all your matches. It's been an amazing time getting to see the progress that has been made and the meta that's been defined by the avid players like you guys, like the guys watching at home, like the players on screen today. With that being said, I've been Gamenism, and with me has been Riku, and we'll be signing out.